You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Benha and Tatiana Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds. Welcome to For All Nerds.
And what's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. The voice of the urban geek, the podcast where we discuss geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. And as always, in the captain's chair, it's your boy, DJ Benha, a.k.a. Reading Rambo, Benny and the Jetsons, a Wakandan werewolf in London, the redemption of Finn, Meek Millhouse, Wakanda's favorite DJ, Kevin Bacon of the internet's chill out Wilson Fisk, because they're staring the echoes, standing on biscuits here in the spaceship tonight.
Very good. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And as always, as you hear, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Deuce Piccolo, Beretta Scott King, Sean Jean-Luc Picard, Jay Prince of All Saiyans, Glorilla Grodd, Doctor Doing Something Strange for Some Change, T'Challa Bread, Doc Aki, Coldest Winter Soldier Ever, Tatiana Kang, the Conqueror, Scroll Obsidian, and the Ting of the North.
There we go. We spent a lot of time on our AKAs tonight, and we ain't got much to talk about. If you ain't know already, that's pretty much a sure sign right there. Welcome to another episode of For All Nerds. Thank you to everyone out there who has been subscribing, following on all those various platforms, all the audio platforms, wherever you listen to us in your ear holes. Make sure you hit that follow, that subscribe. If you're watching us right now, I mean, as it should. If you're watching us right now on YouTube or Twitch, make sure you hit that follow, that subscribe button. It's right below my fingertips. You know what I mean? Right below my fingertips. Also a little dirty. But, we're here. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to the patrons, patreon.com/forallnerds. We just, or very soon, will be dropping a new episode exclusively for y'all. So make sure y'all over there and spreading the word. Thank you. Y'all helping us out.
And it's important,
keeping it going.
Because we putting our business out there on our Patreon episodes, but we don't do the same on the main show. So if you want to know,
yep,
you got to.
It gets real personal. It gets real personal over there.
Facts. So.
Yeah, facts. We get kind of personal over here. It is a podcast where we talk about our life and everything, but it gets super personal over there.
Correct. So
yeah. So, but we here. It's another episode. It's now February, my birthday month.
And it's also Black History Month.
I mean, it's my birthday, so
He said, "Forget Black History Month."
No, I mean they go hand in hand. I was born in I am Black History.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? Let's keep it real, folks.
Okay, Mr. Tagline. I am Black History.
I am Black History.
The Pan-African flag. The Pan-African flag waving behind you. You're looking off into the distance, and then you just see like these people's faces.
Fly by.
Jets fly by. But then you see, the Tuskegee Airmen fly by. Then you see
there we go.
Nice. You see these faces fade in and out.
Yes.
You see like Oprah, and then you see Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Then you see like
Dwayne McDuffie. Why not?
And you see Luke Cage. And then you see. I'm sorry.
Killmonger.
Because Killmonger. No, you got to see Killmonger.
You got to see Killmonger.
Gotta
see Killmonger. You know what I mean? Like he's a real person. Yeah. No, that's the best part. Yeah. Oprah, then Killmonger.
No, see, this is why y'all got to give me. I got to write my comedy show. Like, I want to be like Robin and have my own sketch comedy situation, because the shit that be popping up in my head on the fly, I be fucking dying. And I'm like, I know this shit is funny. So
No, we do this off the fly. Like people were talking about Richard Rider last week, and I'm like, that was all, like my best friend hit me up about that, and someone left a comment on YouTube about that, and yeah, that was just,
I
off
mean,
the
it
fly.
was like the whole latter half of the show, but I was still like very like just shocked. I'm like, I mean, I shouldn't be like Stanley and them. They was always on one, but
On
my
one.
God,
Richard Ryder, Dick Ryder.
Dick Ryder. Wow.
And you know, as a kid, because I remember, you know, I knew Richard and Dick were the same thing, but I just read Richard Ryder. I was like, okay, cool, you know, Richard Ryder. But it was definitely as an adult, I was like, wow.
That's how it's been designed, and that's
Yeah.
why this shit is so like amazing and clever because it's designed for you not to hit it. It ain't gonna hit. It's like an edible, a real sneaky edible that like you hit that shit and you're like, okay, all right, what's that? You know, I don't feel nothing, and there it is. That's how it is. So
There
they
it
did
is.
very well.
Yeah, Dick Ryder. He usually does very well.
Anyways, what else? Once again, this has been ForAllNerds Show. I'll see y'all later. Like, this man does not stop
We out here
being immature, but it's fine.
Hey, I'm very mature. You know, you got to be mature to, you know. All right, I'll stop.
Please stop.
You know, look, I only like mature Dick Riders. You know what I mean?
Ben, what's going on in the world today besides your antics? What's going on in the world today?
What is going on in the world today? I don't know. There's something about this Issa Rae. What did you know? I mean, I know she's been. Did
you hear about it? Did you hear about it?
I didn't hear this exact quote. I didn't see this quote because I saw the other quote where she was talking about how she was going independent because she doesn't believe that Hollywood supports Black stories, which it doesn't. So I've seen that quote.
Yeah, well, this quote that we're referring to is Issa, and it's an excerpt from a wider interview, essentially. But it says, "I've never seen Hollywood this scared and clueless and at the mercy of Wall Street," says Issa Rae in her Time magazine interview. Now, she's 100% right. And also, it's just indicative. Like ForAllNerds, we've been in the game for 10 years, right? And when I really sit there and think about the stuff we were talking about 10 years ago, and the fact that some of that stuff is still the fucking same. Like when we're talking about things in Hollywood, when we're talking about projects and the fight that still remains about Black people and people of color getting their voices heard, it's like, is there any end? And this sentiment was brought to a head a few weeks ago when we saw mass shows, and particularly shows led by Black people, getting the axe left and fucking right. And it was extremely troublesome because, especially for me, because a lot of people in my timeline are writers and are in either media space or in Hollywood. And the sheer level of distraught and sadness that I literally for 24 hours straight, it was just straight, we can't have shit. And I understood that sentiment. It's like, fuck, we can't have shit. Y'all play around with the DEI efforts and diversity, equity, inclusion. You don't know what DEI stands for. And all of this, we trying to uplift y'all people and this and that. This is the executives talking to us as Black folks. And yeah, we want to give y'all a chance. And then you don't give us the same space. You don't give us the same grace. You don't give us the same time. You don't give us the same effort. And then we're fucking struggling. And with Issa Rae, what she has been doing, to me, she's been independent, at least on the side, even with her deal with HBO. Mm-hmm. She has built up her own production companies and built up her indie record label and some other things that are in the works. And she spoke about in this article, she spoke about how she is actually working on building an actual studio in Cali. So this whole thing was about, what she was sharing was about building your own and really taking the task and just saying it plainly, like how the landscape is in Hollywood right now. And how it is, how it's been, but especially right now.
No, especially right now. And there's two things I want to say to that. One is that Hollywood, I think people really misunderstand. Hollywood will do this to white men. Hollywood is evilly ruthless. It'll give white men 2 chances when it'll give us 0. But after them 2 chances, it's don't cut most white men too, unless your daddy is, somebody, or you Martin Scorsese or someone of that nature. And even that nigga struggle to get a movie made these days.
That's Martin part of the argument that they will still get those 2 chances. We get 0.
And that's how it's gonna fucking be. And that's I don't really worry about that because that's how it's gonna be. And I think that this is the thing. I come from the music industry, going into the film industry, and I've always advocated for this, even in the music industry, is do your own. That's what I like. I was one of the big people. I actually knew about. I was a big Drake fan from pretty early. Really went so far gone though. That's when a lot of people got on him. But I put him on to like Young Guru, where Young Guru got onto him, and then he got with I knew I was one of the people really pushing him. That's when I had my blog piece on Stare.com, and I was really pushing him. And my prayer was that he would not sign a major label deal, because I was like, he could be someone who could really change the game and show people you don't need that major label deal anymore. But of course he did. And any people after him, like Chance, who claimed they don't, they work with Apple, and everybody's bought out. Even someone like Toby Nigwe, who I really love, I feel like right now is turning into that cat where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna get this money.
Capitalism right now.
Yeah, and it's big, like, damn, fam.
Big capitalism is
nipping at them heels, fam. And I feel you, because you got a family to feed.
Nipping? I don't think there's no nipping happening. Big capitalism is sitting at the table.
I know, man. I saw the SNL.
Eating that taco with him. And let me be clear. When I say this is not from a hater perspective. This is also not downing him, because what did I say? And maybe I said this on the Patreon episode. That's what you got to do. Like, you also got to be economically smart.
You do. But there's a point, and I feel like we as Black people, and it's like we fall for this trick over and over again, and it's historically been shown. It's like, there ain't never gonna be 5 niggas on the Elvis Presley album cover. It's the famous quote from the 5 Heartbeats, right? Or from the Temptations movie. And that's like, a crossover ain't nothing but a double cross. They will always use you, and then they're gonna go on to the next Negro. Like Toby Nigwe is on the Justin Timberlake song right now because he's the hot nigga. But in 3 years, Justin Timberlake would have somebody else, on there. And he ain't reaching back. Just like he ain't reaching back to Pusha T for a feature right now. But Pusha was on that first album. That's my thing. But Pusha ain't the hot nigga right now. Toby is. So that's my thing. And it's like, we always try to, like with Issa, she's smart. Like, she got the money, but she's taking that money and doing her own thing. And I know Toby is doing that type of thing too. So I know he is. And that's why I'm not, like you say, this ain't coming from a hater perspective. It's coming from the perspective where I want Black people to realize the only way is to do your own thing. Because there's just no security at all. Like, that's why y'all see me. I've worked in Hollywood, but I don't really dedicate my life to that shit. And I will never do anything for a check behind Hollywood, because I don't want to be a person who's out here writing things that I feel aren't or actively detrimental to Black people. Or I'll be honest, I don't even want to write things that are just like entertaining. Like, I love Power. I watch it every week, but it's not something that I'd really want to dedicate my life to writing a show like that, because it's just entertaining, and then it is what it is. I want to write things that I feel like, at least I feel in my heart, are creating an impact or moving me. I don't want to write because someone's like, well, you got to write this episode this week. And that's why I don't actively, chase Hollywood. It'll come to me when I feel like it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. And that's why, but I love people like Issa who are, making these statements like, look, y'all, and that's inspiring people below her, all the younger people coming up underneath her, younger, older, whoever, it don't matter really, but it's inspiring people to be like, yo, okay, maybe I don't need to chase this Hollywood check. Maybe I can take my own check and buy a camera. One of my mentors in Hollywood, a Black writer who's been in the game forever, we had a meeting one day, and he was like, you want to see how, because I asked a question in this meeting of Black writers. I was like, yo, how do we, what about, basically I was talking about myself, but I was like, what about people who just be out here saying shit, and saying whatever, and, actually trying to say something and not just going for the bullshit. Like people like Issa, what she said is dangerous.
Of course, what she said is
dangerous. You can't call the execs clueless. They could be like, you just called me clueless, bitch. Right? I'm not signing over your next movie. Fuck you, bitch. You call me clueless. Like I said,
about being smart about getting that money and then turning that money into self-revenue generating centers, right?
Yep.
Like all the things I mentioned that she already has going for herself, and the fact that coupled with that, she's reaching back. She's pulling up her people behind her. She positioning everybody else, because the whole point towards your idea of make your own is to build your own. Okay, let's pull up and train and create these soldiers that will continue the path forward, that will continue the legacy and build up the legacy, right? Until we can get to a place where like our shit is fucking strong and it's something that cannot be ignored. And that's still something that it technically is in the infancy of. Like there have been, and it's interesting because throughout the age, I don't want to say the ages like it's been a million years, but throughout the decades, there have been glimpses of what those types of empires look like. Like when you think of the Wayans family. When you think of Tyler Perry. When you think of and I say Wayans family because like there was stuff that came out this week that I just learned about. Like the whole reason why there's Super Bowl halftime shows is because of them. I did not fucking know that. The power that has. Yeah. Understand? And wasn't that like the 90s or maybe even earlier? Or I don't fucking know.
And for those who didn't see this, because I saw it popping on TikTok, etc., so I know. Basically what happened is back in the 90s, Living Color was the greatest show on earth. If you don't know about it, go watch old episodes. Living Color is just, it's up there with Dave Chappelle's show, Mad TV, SNL at its best. It is just one of the greatest sketch shows of all time. And at the time, it had nothing but superstar stunners on it. It's like Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, Keenan Ivory Wayans, David Allen Greer, Tommy Jefferson, right? Is that his name? Tommy Davidson. Tommy Davidson, not Jefferson. Yeah, Tommy Davidson. Yeah. Oh man, I was just watching that nigga. He's in
he's so funny.
The Outlaw Johnny Black. I did peep that. I'll talk about that later. Yeah, he's in that joint. So it had all these cats in there. Like Jim Carrey, that's where Jim Carrey got discovered at, is on Living Color. So this show was just in fuego every Sunday night. It was just out of control. You had the people must watch TV. Crazy ratings. So during the Super Bowl that year, when it was like the second or third year of Living Color, when it's just out of control on fire, they did a halftime special. Because normally the halftime would just be niggas talking, they cut back to the studio, everybody talking about the game. And I really, as a kid, I never understood it. I never understood why the fucking Super Bowl took so much longer than every other football game. Because all the other shit, like, why the fuck do we need 30 minutes of halftime with these niggas just talking? Like, nigga, get this shit over.
The people need a rest. The players need the rest.
I know, but they don't get a rest any other week, and I'm like, I mean.
This is the big one, Ben. This is the big one.
I know, but as a kid, I didn't give a shit about football, so I was I wanted to see the show that would come on after the Super Bowl, because they'd always had a dope show on after the Super Bowl. Okay. So I just be like, come on, nigga, get this shit over with. So Living Color, for the first time ever, they did a halftime show.
And on a different network.
On Fox, yeah.
That's what I read, on Fox. Yeah. I don't know what network this was.
Probably ABC at the time, I think. Yeah. And so niggas switched the station.
Not just niggas.
Everyone.
30 million niggas. 30 million niggas.
Everyone switched over to watch In Living Color for 30 minutes and then switched back. And after that, ABC was like, nigga, please.
Like, hell no. And it's like, and that's like not the only type of anecdote that I still probably don't know of, but that has been floating around the internet for some time about, and when I go back to what I'm saying about like these glimpses of empire and influence and the power that has, the Wayans family, Tyler Perry, obviously.
Hold on, I gotta go back to the Wayans family. This battle rapper, it was one of the lines of 2023. This nigga said, everything that I call this gun Mama Wayans, because everything that come up out of it hit.
Oh my Oh God.
But he ain't like his all that woman's children.
I don't know what predicated all this, but once upon a time, UPN. That was the fucking that was prime time.
Oh yeah.
90%, 95% black people. Black people starring in sometimes, like it's their show, understand?
Nigga, they had a racist frog as their goddamn logo.
Frog. The WB frog?
Yeah, nigga, like that's how black they were. They had a racist frog. Like, they didn't give a shit.
Listen.
They're like, we got all y'all niggas on this show. We gonna have a racist frog.
Whatever. The point is, like, I feel like there's been cycles. Well, there were cycles, and with the exception of, like, Tyler Perry, I feel like, okay, now we have an Issa Rae who's trying to build that up again. It's just like, are these ebbs and flows and how it's always gonna be? Or when is there gonna be a point where we'll get to a point where it's like, no matter what, like, there's always going to be fucking Byron Allen there. There's always going to be fucking Tyler Perry there and some other people besides them.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, for a while, until niggas turn out the lights on the small planet, I don't know. Like,
damn, not you saying until this shit.
Stop. I mean, it's just, that's the thing. It's like, because niggas fall for the tricks every time. That's the thing. A lot of niggas will be like, yo, I'm going to do it once I get this amount of money. And then you got another
You do
kid.
it while you're doing it.
And then you got another this. And then you got another mortgage. And then they're like, why don't you just keep doing this bullshit? And you're like, all right.
You get caught up. You get caught up in the matrix.
You get caught up. And that's how they work it. Like, I'm not going to name names again, but if somebody else who worked in Hollywood told me this one time, they were like, go watch the movie The Firm if you really want to know how they get you in this business. Because that's the same shit. He's like, in everything, they've always been like, so, how's your wife doing? What's up? Y'all planning to have kids? Because they want to know, oh, you got kids? Oh, shit. You got to put some food in that belly, don't you?
They want to know your weaknesses and your vices and all this other stuff because it's always, and unfortunately, it's just always about how can I control you, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's what like we were talking about this on the Patreon, right? Like I'm at a frustrated point with my DJ career because I do a lot of weddings and I make a lot of money doing weddings, but it doesn't make me, happy creatively. But what it does allow me to do is because I make the money during weddings, I can take that money, I can pour it into ForAllNerds. I can pour it into my music production. I can pour it into buying cameras so I can shoot my own productions. So that's why, that's the thing. I had a hard lesson to learn, and I realized I'd rather work outside the box, take my money, do what I want to do, than chase down a job in Hollywood. And I feel like a lot of people would rather just chase down those jobs in Hollywood. And I tell young, old, whoever, writers trying to break in the game, I always implore them, like, don't sell your soul for that check. But so many people will just sell their soul.
It's hard not to, Ben. And it's hard to when you either the struggling artist, the struggling creative, or when it's like, and I understand how you feel, because my thing is you also are speaking from a place of experience. When you are green, and it's been your life's mission to get into Hollywood and become a writer and all that stuff. That stuff will take you over, especially if you have that opportunity.
And this is something that I learned before I ever. This is something that, because I read and I pay attention and I listen and I learn before I get into an experience. KRS-One, a quote that I always live with. KRS-One said this in an interview way back in the day when I read. He was like, yo, don't ever make money off of something you love. And he's like, look, I love hip hop and rap, so I don't make my main money off of this shit. I have investments. I do other things. I do speaking tours. I do all this type of shit he does other than doing shows and stuff, so that way, he doesn't have to, he can make the music he wanted to make all his life. KRS-One ain't never compromised. He's always made the songs he wanted to make. He ain't never done nothing else. I saw him on the show last year, like 50 years in hip hop. This man been there since the fucking beginning of it. And that man was doing a show, during the 50th, touring the world.
So he's still living his dreams and his way.
I saw this nigga on stage say it. He was like, yo, 50 years ago, I said we will be here forever. Do you understand me? It's a famous KRS-One song. We will be here forever. And he was like, I put this shit out there. My mind created the world. He said, I'm going to be on stages rocking microphones till I'm motherfucking 60. He said that shit in a rhyme when he was like 25. Ripping a microphone until I'm motherfucking 60. You know what I mean? And he's still out there doing it. It's like, and that's what we talk about on the show. Words have power. The spells you cast with what you say and put into the universe means things. And so that's why, like I said, I make money off of DJing and things of that nature, but I'm not out here playing a lot of bullshit music. I'm not doing that type of stuff because I won't do that for a check, man. It's not in my nature. You know what I mean? I'll find other ways to make money than to, sacrifice my soul for a check.
Good
words. I feel like, I really wish more people beat it. It's just not worth it. That's why I always tell people about Hollywood Shuffle. There's work at the post office is the famous quote from this movie. There's always work. Nigga, you don't need this shit. Like, I don't give, your fucking dream is to write, then write, nigga. Don't wait till you get into Hollywood to write. Write. If that's your dream, write every goddamn day and make something happen with it. Yeah. Don't wait for somebody else, because when you get there, they're going to tell you, write this. And then it's going to suck.
Because you're not doing what you want to do no more.
No, you're not writing what you want to write. God damn it, I should have picked this nigga.
You what?
Basketball, fantasy basketball, y'all.
Oh, okay. And I mean, thank you for that, for the word. I appreciate you, Reverend Dr. Ben. I mean, but since I mentioned his name, I also wanted to mention, I don't know if you saw that, because that also happened this week or earlier, that Byron Allen, he
Big money Byron.
Big money Byron, a $30 billion buyout of Paramount Global. Now, a few months back, and even again in December, he has been trying to buy BET. And that was rebuffed. So he said, fuck it, I'm gonna buy the whole thing. So that, of course, that pushed that well, I was gonna say that stock went up crazy. They're like, here comes this, here comes this big money. But of course, there's doubt there. They don't know, and some analysts are like, we don't know where he's getting that money from. I'm like, well, neither did Elon Musk, and he did that shit anyway. So my thing is, the money is there. He can figure it out. It's just, is Paramount going to take it seriously? And to that, and not to be conspiracy theorists, but this is also a black man that's going,
I just can't see it. I'll be amazed.
Are they going to let a black man control it? And again, this is not Hotep talk.
No.
Are they going, like, this Paramount, for people who don't know, hold on, let me pull it up. Paramount is comprised of BET, MTV, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, CBS, and in their general global TV business, which is,
I mean, let's talk about Star Trek, right? That he owns Star Trek, right?
Yeah, like, because it's news, but it's also culture, right?
Yeah, I mean, Paramount owns Star Trek. He would own Star Trek.
His inclusion would be a vast change in the landscape of the media landscape, of the management and direction and power thereof, right? Like, he would become one of the people who are making the decisions, right? And allegedly, some of the stuff he would just sell off, and he would just focus on the TV. But like, the media piece is where the power is. So I'm just like, are they going to allow this man to do something like this? Even if he turned around and said, he'd point to it. He pointed a tangible $50 billion check or whatever it was. I mean, will they be like, they'll still say no? The shareholders love it. I'm curious. You're not sure. Ben Amin's like, yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm not sure if they will. That is
$30 billion, excuse me, but yeah.
God damn. And I know he put it together with a conglomerate, like you said, so it ain't just him.
I mean, just like when Elon allegedly bought what's his face for 44, like, he didn't have that. It was a conglomerate, Saudi money and some other money. So my thing is, it's how you come up with that is kind of besides the point. When you have enough leverage and access, you can figure it out. But the fact that it's a real fucking offer, and he's sitting there, y'all need to take it for real, and the markets took it for real. So what's gonna happen next?
What's gonna happen? That's big questions. I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. That's all I can say on that. That's big talk. People always been doubting Byron Allen. My man just been, stacking chips. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, 14.3 billion. So where did the 30 billion come from? Oh, I think that's for some other stuff. But no, Allen Media Group made an unsolicited. That's another thing. I think that's bold. No one fucking asked you. It's like, well, fuck you. I'm putting this shit out there.
Well, he tried to buy BET, right?
He was trying, and they rebuffed those efforts.
Yeah, so he's
it was
like,
between him and Diddy and some other people.
Yeah, he says, fuck it, I'll just buy your whole shit then.
Yeah. So
hold that.
I mean, hold that. I just
shit like that.
I mean, and the man already owns, like, I believe he owns like 26 conglomerate networks. He owns the Weather Channel. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, I knew that. That's how he started.
The black man owned the weather, so the black man thought he was going to rain or not. So
yeah, that's how he started getting his money.
Right. So it's just interesting how this is going to play out or not play out. I don't know. And then it's just like, if it don't play out, it's like, so what was the reason? This is a premium. This is a huge, I think it's a 50% premium over their current stock price. And they have like another 14 billion in debt. So if y'all say no, what's the reason?
What was the reason?
So I know. That's on that.
That's on that. In some other news today or yesterday, whenever, I don't know. The Sony State of Play happened, where Sony, shows off all the shit they got coming for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. You seen anything you like?
I didn't. You have to tell me, because I didn't see everything that was announced. The big news that I saw was there's a 10-minute trailer for Death Stranding on the
Mhm.
Beach, which is the sequel to Death Stranding. I really enjoyed like the first hour I played of Death Stranding, and then I got bored and gave up. And
Listen,
I never went back.
Kojima-san, Hideo Kojima's stuff is dense. It's very dense in terms of just what he's thinking about and what he's not thinking about and what he's trying to convey in his art. His art can be an understanding of what his point is, can be very elusive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not because people don't get it. It's just like he really doing his own shit. And because he's like, he's gaming God and genius and all this other stuff, it's just sometimes it is hard to like really like sink your teeth into it. Let's say that.
Yeah,
So
and people
I get it.
say that Death Stranding, and by the end of it, you know, pretty much everything is explained. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay,
Because he
that's
doesn't
good to know.
explain shit, but you got to get through all the other shit first to get there. And I
I
think
mean, he
that's the hard
explained a
part.
lot in Metal Gear.
He explained a lot.
And that shit didn't make no sense. So I get, I don't
Metal
want
Gear
to.
got more convoluted every year. I'm like,
Oh my god! And then a lot of his explanations are terrible. So no, But they say that Death Stranding overall the explanations worked out, et cetera, et cetera. So, I'm still not hyped for the new one. Whatever. Yeah. No.
I mean, listen, I what I'm hyped for is actually is it a movie or is it another game? But the project that he's working on with Jordan Peele, and
Not horror. I'm good.
I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I'm not a horror person, and that's the thing. I'm not even a horror person.
No.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what these crazed maniacs cook up because it's like, ain't no way. Hideo's out of his mind a lot of times, and then Jordan thinks everything's funny. So I just like them together. Like last year, or even the year before, they had posted a picture on Twitter, and I screamed. I said, "What the fuck are y'all doing together? Like certain people should not be working together because they will f you up royally." And I think these are two people who could do that. So I know. I don't know, Ben. I'm trying to see what they doing. I'm trying to see what they talking about.
Yeah, I'm just not excited. It's not something I'm like, what are they doing? No, I'm good. If people prove me wrong and it's something I might want to check out, but I just doubt it, man. I do not play horror games at all. Like, never have. From the first Resident Evil, it's never been something that interests me.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Also in the state of play, they have Rise of the Ronin game. Is I'm assuming about Ronins, and they talk about like 101 sword combat, stuff like that.
I played the Ghost of Tsushima.
Tsushima, yeah.
Yeah, I played that for a minute. It was cool.
It was a big game, like a huge game.
And I just didn't care enough to keep going. Like, I did some shit in it, had some battles, had some good times. It was cool. It was very beautiful, but I was like, whatever, Like, just gave up. Didn't feel like,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like open world type stuff here.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade Deep Dive, Dragon's Dogma 2, Sonic and Shadow Generations, as in Sonic the Hedgehog. So a new Sonic game that's coming out to all platforms, every fucking platform imaginable's there. Literally, I'm like, damn. Silent Hill, another Silent Hill spinoff is coming.
I thought that's what they were working on together.
I don't know.
I don't know. Cause I don't know. I mean, don't worry about it.
But I told you I care about it. So, okay. No, they are. Yeah, they're making a game, but it's a completely separate situation. Okay. Upcoming. It's called OD. It's called.
I know
OD.
he like paid tribute because before Kojima was working on not Silent Hill. It might have been Silent Hill. He was working on a horror game before. Mm-hmm. And so in the trailer for the new one, they paid tribute to that old one. There's like subtle clues to the one before. It might have been Silent Hill, or I think it is Silent Hill, right? Silent Hill is the friend. Yeah, I think it's
a franchise. Resident Evil, Silent Hill. If you're talking about that vein, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Silent Hill, though. I think he was working on a Silent Hill game before, and that was before he left, and had to form his own company and all that shit. So, but in the trailer for the new one, they paid some tribute to it. I know this because I pay attention, and I don't, even when I don't care.
There's some game called Dave the Diver that's going to have Godzilla in it.
Oh, shit.
So And like a lot of these, we got to actually watch the trailer to get the gist of what the game is about.
Yep.
Zenless Zone Zero. Let's see, Metro Awakening VR. Oh yeah, and there's some VR stuff that's been announced as well. So I don't know if I don't strike you. You don't strike me as a VR person. I don't know if you even mess with
I don't know.
VR like
I've
that.
watched VR before.
Do you like it? Would you do it again? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know.
I
Okay.
was waiting for the VR for the PS5 to drop, and then it did drop, and they still didn't drop enough games for it.
They didn't support it.
There's been no support, so
PSVR, yeah, no.
we'll see if they're gonna abandon it or give it some more support.
They've already abandoned. It's abandoned, Ben. I mean, it's effectively been abandoned for many years now. So,
but the PS5 one just dropped last year.
No, listen. Yes, and they announcing more VR stuff at this state of play. And what I'm telling you is, until I see some real action.
No, I know they ain't done nothing with it.
Yeah, they haven't done nothing with it. So
the what do you call it game? The Starfighter, the X-Wing game they had, that shit was supposed to be incredible in VR. So I was waiting for the new VR headset because I have that game already. So I was waiting for the new VR headset, but that shit's dumb expensive, and I'm like, I'm not buying that to play this one Star Wars game. So
right.
That's been the hold up. And then the Apple joint is pretty dope. So now I'm thinking about, I'm looking at that. But yeah. Even that I'll definitely wait for, volume 2.
A game that I am super into that I haven't even played yet, and I'm so afraid to start playing, is Palworld. And the reason why I'm afraid is because I know I'm gonna get obsessed with it. It's everyone's calling it basically Pokemon with guns. And I know you've seen it and heard about it by now.
Yeah, I've read about it. Yeah, all that.
Shout out to Lunar Engineer, who says he is knee deep in that. He's been in that. They've even ported it over to VR, and Luna is very big into VR. He has a Quest, so we know we're gonna see some video from him. But literally, Power is all the stuff that I wanted to do in Pokemon and wish I could do, and they just fucking did it and added some, fucked up shit to it. And I'm with it. I'm about that life. And the fact that, like they said, like right now, it's 19 million players across the
I saw 20 the other day.
It's probably 20 now. Literally, as we speak, it just keeps going up by like a million every 12 hours. So, and this shit just dropped like earlier in January. And it's technically still like preview. Like and on paper, it's still like preview. It's not like the final release. But like between the sheer amount of attention and players and what I'm seeing of it being open and pretty much there's not like no general there's no main story. Like you just do what the fuck you want to do with your pals, aka Pokemon. Like it just goes back to my heydays of like being deep gamer, and again being a huge Pokemon fan and being in that life and really caring. And for me it got so boring after a while. So to be able to essentially kind of y'all ripping off of them, I ain't gonna hold you. Like I don't know if you've seen the character designs, Ben, but
oh yeah, no straight Jad moves.
It's copy my homework, but try to change it up a little bit, and it's like I don't know. Y'all might have been looking over on people's papers, but you try to make enough of a change to try to get over it, and of course, the Pokemon people don't like that. They said they're going to be investigating. So we'll see how long this lasts. But in the meantime, I feel like I need to get on this. And this could be the game that actually brings me back to gaming. It makes me sit there and actually stream. But I'm also afraid because I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it, Ben. I mean,
yeah, afraid. I've read up on it. I haven't played any of these the survival games that. It hasn't struck my interest. I know because like
Fortnite type games.
Yeah, well, Fortnite's more massive. This is like in the vein of Ark with the dinosaurs.
It's a lot of things mixed into it.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of Ark or Days Past with the zombies. Like you start off punching trees. You grab some rocks. You build a fort. Yeah. And so it's got the Fortnite. Yeah,
it has a lot of components of a lot of successful games in it, and then throws in a ghetto rigged kind of Pokemon shit. Yeah. And I learned that the main designer is a high schooler.
Yeah, one of them. Yep.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
good for you. Good on you.
Yeah. But yeah, not the biggest interest in the.
Not interested. I am. Yeah. This is literally my bread and butter. I'm like, oh my god. So.
Like right now, I've been playing this joint, Wreckfest, which is this Demolition Derby car racing game, which I really enjoy. I think it was free, and I've just been loving that.
With some Twisted Metal shit?
Yeah, not as nearly as ill as Twisted Metal. You know, this is realistic. Well, I mean, more realistic.
Okay. I'm about to say,
You don't have
Twisted Metal
guns
wasn't
or any of
realistic.
that type of shit. So far,
Okay.
I haven't seen that. It's just cars and Demolition Derby and races where it turns into a Demolition Derby. So I've been enjoying that. And what I've been holding off, and I know I want to do Baldur's Gate, you know, and
No, you are going to be sucked in that shit.
I know, and I've played
It'll
the demo.
take you 5 hours just to pick your character, maybe more.
Nah, I played the demo. It took me like an hour.
No, I'm like, I'm just talking about how people have been
I know,
really sucked into it. Okay.
It took me a good hour to, to get the design that I wanted. I had my Fire Dragonborn dude. And I wasn't blown away. I don't like that's the thing. Like the interface didn't really do it for me, but the story was getting me right away.
Okay.
So I think within the next couple weeks, I'm gonna just bite the bullet and buy Baldur's Gate. So that's yeah. I don't know if I'll be streaming that. I won't make no promises. I have been streaming more DJ sets. Actually, every Tuesday and probably every Thursday now at 4 p.m. Eastern. I've been doing DJ sets on twitch.tv/DJ Benha. So make sure you follow me over there.
I've been seeing them.
Yep. But gaming, I'm still not really a big gaming streamer, so I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that at all. We'll see.
Yeah. If I get Power, it's over.
Yeah. You'll have to.
Yeah. I'm it's like really hard for me not to at this point. And as a former gaming addict, I'm like, so.
All right.
Did you ever get to speak about that book last week?
No, I didn't because we, ended the show talking about Dick Rider.
Dick Rider.
So we got up out of there. I actually finished it. It's the first in a series from N.K. Jemisin, The City We Became. I'm not sure the name of the series, but the sequel just dropped a few weeks ago, I think. But I picked up the first book, The City We Became. It's a story about... I don't want to give away too much, but it's a story about avatars and the cities they represent. So different people represent different cities, and they are the avatar of the city. And
like Houston, Atlanta, Vegas?
Like Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. But New York in this case, this one is mainly centers on New York. And it centers on New York awakening, like the whole avatar becoming awake and becoming an avatar of New York. And the boroughs each having their own avatar. Okay. And them having to come together to fight this great enemy. And I enjoyed it. I'm gonna pick up the sequel eventually. It's not like where I'm like, oh, I gotta rush out and get the sequel. I think people, your mileage may vary on it, but I thought it was a good read.
Okay. Is the Brooklyn Avatar legit?
The Brooklyn Avatar is legit. I definitely fell in love with the Bronx Avatar, and I had problems with the Staten Island Avatar as you should.
It's fucking Staten Island.
As you're supposed to. And the Bronx Avatar was definitely my favorite character in the book. And I actually really loved the Staten Island Avatar, and I understood their choices. That was the great thing about the writing. NK really did that with that because even though I disagreed with them, I understood where they were coming from and really felt for them, in a way. Like I really liked their character. They're in a fucked up spot. They're fucked up, but they're in a fucked up spot, and they were, raised up fucked up. So they
more ways than one.
Yeah,
just like real life.
And it's got some Lovecraftian elements. I'll say that. It definitely feels like yet another in the vein of Lovecraft Country of retaking and reclaiming the Lovecraft mythos, and because there's a lot of racism in Lovecraft's work, reclaiming that and re-examining that, and I really enjoyed that side of it too. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this for if you want a good novel, good read, really dope.
Is it one book?
No, it's a series. The sequel just dropped, and there's going to be more than 2. I think there's planned at least 3 books in the series.
Okay, by N.K. Jemisin.
Yep, The City We Became. I'm not sure the name of the sequel, but you can find out once you get the first one. So
okay. And last show, we were unfortunately surprised by the fact that Outlaw Johnny Black dropped in September. Yes. But you did get to see it.
I did get to see it.
And?
I liked it. All right, now this thing, when we talked to Michael Jai White, he explained that if you're looking for a sequel to Black Dynamite, this ain't it. And I didn't believe him. You know, I was like, fuck that nigga. Give me my sequel to Black Dynamite. And so I watched
it. He told us.
I watched it looking for a sequel to Black Dynamite, and this is no sequel to Black Dynamite. There's comedy, but it's just not on the level of Black Dynamite. I think Black Dynamite is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen to this day.
It really is.
Immensely quotable. I quote it all the time.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
Yeah. I'm declaring war on anyone selling drugs in the community. But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community. I sell drugs to the community.
No, it is one of like the funniest.
It's fucking. He's so insulted by it.
So you ignored what he said, that it wasn't a sequel,
or even a spiritual sequel, because it's a Western, and it's just different. Like the jokes.
So what'd you get out of it?
It was a cool Western, I guess. You know.
I guess. Oh no.
Yeah, it was cool, man. This ain't one of the Michael Jai joints. I'll be like, yo, if you ain't seen Black Dynamite, go see Black Dynamite. You know, Michael Jai got a million joints.
I like the diversion.
Look, if you want some ill action, Michael Jai got a million joints on Netflix, on pretty much every streaming network, filled with, dope action. This was like, if you want a comedy Western, I would say peep it, with black people. There's some beautiful black women, and I'll give them that,
I mean, I know this is supposed to be comedy, but what about shit like The Harder They Fall?
Nah, The Harder They Fall is fire, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you say, if you got to see Western with black people, wouldn't you say that one?
I would definitely say,
you would say that one. You wouldn't say...
no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, sorry, Michael.
Let's be real. Like,
Love you, bro. Fine. But yeah, this ain't... It was cool, you know what I mean? It was cool.
But I mean, I don't believe you. It gets worse as you continue, and the size and the E and I and I don't know, bro. All the vowels ain't doing it for me. So
well, before we get out of here, I do have to say that this week was also monumental. We talked about this on the Patreon episode, but in a big comic side pop this week in Previews magazine, which is the ordering magazine. It's the trade magazine for the industry where all your stores pre-order all their books. Hendrix Purple Haze, written by Mellow Marketer and me.
I don't know where you're gonna be. I'm trying to point to you.
Yeah. It's out. It is there. It's for order. It will drop in July. You can
30th July 2024.
2024.
The book is real.
It's real. You can go to your local comic store, your local bookstore, tell them it's in previews, tell them to pre-order it. Please tell your local comic store to pre-order it. You know what I mean? Tell them you want Ben and Mello to come through for a signing.
Demand it.
Demand that shit. Be like, yo, you need to fly these niggas out here. I don't care how much it costs. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit. I know you ain't making no money in the comic industry.
You're going to tell them to the independent bookstore. Yeah. Fly these niggas out here.
Broke ass nigga. Get your money up and fly these niggas out here. No, just pre-order it, please. I'll fly myself out there and sign that shit myself if I have to.
Nah.
I'm so goddamn excited about this. I really can't wait for y'all to read it. We've been working on this book for years. Literally years of blood, sweat, and tears I put into this book. And I just cannot wait for y'all to get it. And
I would argue
finally available for
It's finally available. I would argue you've been working on this your whole life.
I would too. And that'll come out more in some interviews and things. We'll talk about this some more. But yeah, no, this book has been a part of me my whole life. Yeah, straight up and down. There are things in this book I've been thinking about my whole life. There are theories and ideas that I've been thinking about since I first fell in love with music. And I poured everything into this shit, man. It's something. So yeah.
So proud of you. I'm always so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for us. We'll both be at San Diego Comic-Con celebrating this shit. All kind of things are coming from this. It's one of my goals is to write for Marvel, to write another independent series, and to write a sequel to this. So those are my 3 comic goals for this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
and speaking of celebration, we also we celebrated him last month, but congratulations to our engineer Luna, who was expecting a little one on the way,
Yes,
little
yeah.
baby Luna. We just wanted to make sure that we gave you your shine on the show because you are an intrinsic part of the show. We want to make sure all the fam knows about your bundle of joy on the way, and they can congratulate you. So congratulations, Luna.
Word up. Make sure y'all go congratulate our editor in one, Mr. Luna, the legend himself. Thank you for everything and congratulations.
Hey, what's up, internets and the fam? This is Tatiana King for ForAllNerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching the ForAllNerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.